willing to pay the price, we invite you to go through the mirror of life. Dora!
15 years ago, we thought we'd killed a demon, but he's been waiting to kill us.
15 years, cousin Taras. But now we are here to free you, to give you life.
But must they all die?
All!
I mocked the talk of vampires. I was wrong. I've seen proof, terrifying proof. People have been killed in villages, killed by vampires.
None of you will live. Your children will die to give me back my life.
Your child is missing. Your child is missing.
Hey everybody, welcome to 31 Days of Monsters. I'm your host, Graham Nolan. We are plowing into day 15 today. Sex, blood, vampires, nudity. This one's got it all, folks. Of course, that's what you get with Hammer films of the early 1970s. 1972, when this came out, I was 10 years old, and I was in the heat of my monster kid days. You know, that's when I was discovering everything, reading monster magazines, and these movies that Hammer was releasing were new. You know, they were at the theater, so all the magazines were covering this stuff. So I remember seeing images of these films in magazines, never having seen the movies because they were, you know, rated R, and I was 10 and didn't see them till much later. In fact, some of them I'm watching for the first time now in our 31 Days of Monsters, this one being one of them. This is a surprisingly good entry, but I am a little biased, as I had sort of indicated earlier, that my love for Hammer is really in the 70s, from 71 to, say, 74. The movies that they put out there, I thought were really cool. One of my favorite Draculas is Dracula AD 1972, where he fights hippies, and it's got Carolyn Monroe in it, and of course it reunites the great Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. We don't have any of those big stars in this one, but we do have a really stellar, I think, performances for you know what we get, or for what the source material is. We've got a town that's kind of isolated because of the plague, and then the circus troupe comes in, this vampire circus troupe, for revenge, because earlier that town had killed this baron, this lord, who was a vampire, who was preying on everybody else, all the women in the town, including the teacher, headmaster. I forget what position he had. His wife, you know, was you know, stooping the old vamp. And then it just goes on from there. And then it's a revenge tale, because the guy who's the Panther is kin to this guy. And he had made a vow to kill all the children of these people. and one by one they're going after him. So this is a cool little revenge tale as well as a vampire story, and I really like this one. I thought it was really cool. I have it a little bit confused because when I watched this, I think it was Saturday. I also watched was it Vampire Virgins? Can't remember the title of it now. But it had Yut Skarsgård? It's not Skarsgård, something like that. Anyway, this girl, there's this iconic picture of her that was in every monster magazine that I saw as a kid. And then I saw it for the first time on Saturday, and it was just indelibly marked into my brain, and I got to see it. And it was okay. It wasn't as good as I think as this one. And the ending was kind of weak. I like the ending in this one. I really like how they decapitate the vampire with a crossbow, and then his head starts rolling out. That was different and really cool. I also like the fact that they've got humans working with them. Like that woman was able to grab the cross off of the girl, and also David Prowse, everybody knows as the physical appearance of Darth Vader, played the strongman in this, and he was a human too because he was able to crush the cross without any ill effects. But yeah, so I like this one a lot. I hope you guys did too. Let's find out who was here and what you guys thought. All right, JS8852 says, "Woo." Dr. Mask says, a fun movie. It was interesting how one dancer was completely nude, just covered in body paint, but a lot of the violence occurred off screen. The blood did seem to increase throughout. Yeah. And the blood in these movies isn't all that bad, compared to, modern films for sure. Dr. Mask also reminds everybody to get signed up for Shinu 77. I'll share with you a cover from that today. The main cover, rather. JP Roca asks, what's good? But he also says this one was okay. The circus was very random. Vampires that can turn into different animals. At least good one. It usually wins in these old movies. One of the only things worse than hippies are gypsies. Man of War 665 says, hail amigos. Rick 1662 says, strange movie. Actors looked weird. I didn't think the actors looked weird other than the main guy, the Panther dude. His eyes were like pretty far apart on his head. I thought he was a little weird looking. It's his face on the poster too, which gave it kind of a weird feel. So it was like perfect for that poster. Enjoyed watching a throwback movie that was just a few years younger than me. Rick is doing an unboxing of his Hot Toys Dr. Doom. Rob Fellows is checking in from the land of the Vampire Circus. Hail Ringmaster Graham and all performing monsters. Hoot and Holler 635 says, morning all. Dr. Mass says, I thought the actor who was the dwarf did a great job. JS8852 says, Romana. That's in reference, I think I saw earlier. Michelle Bowers is here. Hello. To something about Doctor Who. So I don't know what that means. Like Kick One is here. Burgermeister, Rob Fellows says, Burgermeister, the Count is dead. We've killed him. We've rid our village of evil. Famous last words. Why did they leave his body there? you know, after they kill him. How many times will you attend a circus tied to multiple disappearances and deaths set up in the front yard of the ruins haunted castle they themselves destroyed? That's a fair question. For that matter, how many days do you go back to it? You know, it didn't look like they had too much to offer, you know, and yet, you know, it was there a week and the whole town kept turning out. I don't know. Maybe you could say because, you know, they were sequestered because you couldn't nobody could get in or get out because of the plague. I guess that would be the reason. Yep, Romana from Doctor Who, but which character played Romana? Which character from our movie today? Was it the woman, the gypsy woman? Dragon Dancer says it'd be rated PG now. Yeah, it would. For the violence, you know, for the blood and all that. Yeah, you don't see nudity like this in PG movies anymore. You know, the 70s was great for that. You know, you could always count on it showing up. Rob says the Count looked like a cut price 70s stage magician. Love the movie though. Tongue and fangs firmly in its cheek. Yeah, it looked a little fey too, I gotta say. You know, but the haircut was kind of cool. You know, had that 70s vibe, even though it didn't take place in the 70s. But you know, it was like right down to here and came out like that, like a widow's peak. So I thought it kind of looked neat. Dracula AD is a fun movie. Yeah, in fact, the dude who instigates everything in Dracula AD becomes the acolyte of Dracula, is in this movie too. He was at the bar. He's one of the townspeople. He had a few lines. I like the acrobats. Get it? No, I don't. Don't get them. Oh, and make sure you guys check this out. Sign up for the upcoming comic illustrated book, Edgar Allan Poe's Besprinkled with Scarlet, some of Poe's greatest hits. I'll leave that up for a little bit so you guys can screen capture that link. The Clark's 6280 says, howdy, Graham. The Panther guy looks Eastern European, definitely. Definitely a gypsy. Haha. Education says, best David Prowse Hammer is Horror of Frankenstein. Prowse plays the monster. No Peter Cushing, but the new guy is fantastic. The blonde, the actress from Doctor Who, Romana, was in this movie. The blonde. Is that the gypsy woman? Dr. Mass, pretty boring around the town apparently. So the circus was the best thing going. Okay, here we go. The blonde female twin was the fourth Doctor Tom Baker companion. She was also briefly his wife. Okay. Bloody Drake says it's fun, feels a bit like a Teen Hammer vampire movie. Yeah, I watched Slapshot with my son when he was like 14 and forgot about the 5 minute 5 minute-minute 5 minute 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 5 You're welcome, Dr. Mask. Appreciate all you do. Kino Reviews, or at Reviews Kino, says, hail the chat. David Prowse was in A Clockwork Orange? I'll never know because I'm never going to see that movie. It looks very disturbing, and it is not my cuppa, if you will. But, all right, friends and fellow monster kids. Tomorrow, we have The Ring from 2002 with Naomi Watts. So it's not the Japanese version. So when you do your homework, make sure you watch the Naomi Watts one. It's on Tubi. So again, another freebie. Tubi's got a lot of stuff this year that's on our list that we can watch, which is great. I started Near Dark this morning, which is on, it's not a great print on YouTube, but it's about the only place you can find it if you don't already own it. So you'll have to watch it there. So that'll cover us for the next couple of days. So tomorrow, my friends, is The Ring, and we will see you then. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and thanks for tuning in. Always appreciate it. Bye.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.